youngest of three girls, I really didn't have an opinion or a chance to get my point across. This problem in some way forced me to become shy and not very outspoken. So throughout time, I grew up feeling as if everyone's opinion and point of view was more important than my opinion. Because I had this habit followed me to high school and became the problem I had in high school. Being shy and not very opinionated causes people to walk over you and treat you as if you're less than them. I couldn't really get upset because I didn't feel any better about myself than they felt about me. So when I got in the 10th grade, I decided to join the No Haters Here Club. Not knowing what kind of great things the club will offer me in the long run. The opportunity to stand up for people that got beat down and talked about because they were gay or lesbian, or maybe because they were different or not or do not fit in that perfect category. The No Haters Here gave me a feeling that I knew I had to share with someone, whether I knew them or not. So I started sharing and telling people what the No Haters Here stood for and how they should get active with them. At one time, I felt as if I was doing this all for myself, until I realized this was much bigger than me. The No Haters Here was a way for kids, teenagers, and adults to be who they were, no matter who felt different about it or disagreed with it. And in that moment, I knew I was committed to this club and everything we stood for. Thank you.
These students were very nervous, and so we want to make sure that we're very supportive. And next up, we have the secretary of the No Haters Here Club. These wonderful young people are seniors. They're going to be going on to college, and we hope that they will continue the work that they're doing, but we're also giving you a taste of some of the great leadership that we have in this community, and I'm actually stalling so that machine will stop making that noise for Ruby. Next up, we have Ruby Poole, who is the secretary of the No Haters Here Club, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what we've got going on here.
Sorry, I'm a bit too short. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ruby Poole, and I'm a senior here at George Washington Preparatory High School. The topic we have been focusing on today does not affect one individual. It affects us as a community and as a whole. I asked myself the other day, what is it to have courage to become an ally to someone who's being harassed, bullied, or beaten? Is it standing up to someone or becoming a lifesaver? The topic we're dealing with is a very serious and in-depth topic. But we are not here to point out our school's problems, but we are here to inform on the action that we are taking to decrease the violence in our school and in our community. I remember one occasion I witnessed a young man being bullied. As I saw this young man being pushed to the wall and being humiliated, I did not stop to help that young man, and I continued on to my destination. I never knew how this young man ended up, nor did I ever see him again. Did I know this was wrong? Yes, I did know that this was wrong. Did I do anything to stop it? No, I did not. And why? Because in my eyes, all of this seemed very normal. But as I look back, I wish I had the courage to have stood up to those bullies and have helped that young boy. Some were probably waiting for someone like Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln, and Harriet Tubman, or a Gandhi. But what if that special someone isn't here? What if it's up to us? Well, let me tell you that this is our time. Consider this an almost unthinkable scenario, a world without violence, where no child is abused, no friend is beaten. A world without terror, without threats, without wounds from intentional actions. A world without violence. We cannot even imagine that. The very thought eludes our grasp. Why is that? Is it our cynicism, burnt out, disappointment, seeing too much reality, gang killings and stalkings? Or is it fear? Fear of failure, that we may not be able to achieve successful, violence-free relationships and peaceful communities? Are we too afraid to even imagine it and this, unable to even dream it? I don't have the answer for you, but I know vision is the ability to see the invisible, to see beyond the violence and yet to place ourselves in front of it, so we can take compassionate action and create peace. That is my definition of courage. Being a student here at George Washington Preparatory High School for 3 years, and this being my last, I have noticed dramatic changes in the school and in the community. I began here as a freshman, and I remember being frightened, especially the problems that were in school. You would hear of the violence around you, and the ones that frightened me the most were the ones that were in school. Later, I became accustomed to the violence, and the fear had gone away. A classic club was introduced to me. The name kind of made me laugh. No haters here. This club opened my eyes and allowed me to see that the violence around me was not normal, and how the simple steps of name calling can end up in a serious death. I became more active in this club, and for the young men I once saw being bullied, I now stand up and speak up for those who feel that they are vulnerable. We take action to involve all students to make our school a safe place. The problems in 2009 are no longer tolerated. Because of security? No, not really. Because throughout this program, we have learned to love and respect one another. We take place in gathering students from all over the campus, from the ones that are under the stairs to the ones that are on the quad. We have students break those barriers of hate and form new ones that hold us together. We have gone through a lot of changes and have broken the barriers of hate. Now we are a no haters here school, and do not tolerate hate and violence on our campus. We are working hard to allow the next generation to live out the dream. Thank you very much, everyone.